I yield back.
Thank you. Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Chairman Cruz. I saw ready to push the button, and anyway, time does go by very fast. Thank you for having this hearing. I really believe in the promise of AI. It's so exciting, and we have to ask the right questions in order to promote its growth on one hand, and how it can explore and create these new possibilities and pathways, and also how do we protect ourselves from bad actors or outcomes as best as we can know at the time. And Mr. Altman, thank you for spending some time with me yesterday. I look forward to continuing to work with you on this. So I want to start a little bit today at DeepSeek and adversarial AI, because in February I introduced bipartisan legislation with Senator Husted to prohibit the using DeepSeek on government devices. And earlier this week, Senator Cassidy and I introduced a bill that would expand those prohibitions to include federal contractors. So, Mr. Smith, what should our approach be to AI models that are developed in or by adversarial countries like the PRC? Should we be concerned about our adversaries co-opting AI to promote a particular ideology, collect sensitive U.S. data, and how are you combating this, this threat?
Well, I think you can take the DeepSeek example, and it illustrates it well. And I think it's just worth thinking about the fact that DeepSeek produced two things. They have a model that is an open source model, and they have an application, the DeepSeek app. At Microsoft, we don't allow our employees to use the DeepSeek app. We did not put the DeepSeek app in our app store because of the kinds of concerns that you mentioned, namely data going back to China, and the app creating the kinds of content that I think people would say were associated with Chinese propaganda. At the same time, because the model itself is an open source model, it was possible for us to go in it, analyze it, and change the code in the model, which we and other people have the permission to do, to remove the harmful side effects. And so I think we have to always think about the different aspects of the technology. I will say put security first, and then go forward from there.
Thank you. I think we all know that data is the real power in our current world. He or she or whomever owns the data really can control a lot of what we do. But I want to move on and speak with you, Mr. Altman, about AI and anti-Semitism a little bit, because earlier this year, ADL released a report showing that several major generative AI models have perpetuated dangerous anti-Semitic stereotypes and, sadly, conspiracy theories. So, Mr. Altman, what steps is industry taking to ensure that AI models don't perpetuate anti-Semitism? Will you consider collaborating with civil society to create kind of a standard benchmark for AI related to anti-Semitism, use it as a form of evaluation, and then maybe we could use those for other forms of hate as well?
Of course, we do collaborate with civil society on this topic, and we are excited to continue to do so. We want our users to have freedom to use models in the way they want, but we also don't want them to be damaging to sort of the fabric of society or particular groups. There will always be some debate, and the question of free speech in the context of AI is novel, and I think it's different than what we faced before. We really do view these as tools for users one-on-one, but of course we're not here to make horrible anti-Semitic products.
Thank you. I want to move on to Senator Lujan talked about data center energy use, water use, something we're all really concerned about. I want to put on top of that a little bit about data center security, add that to the mix. So last Congress, I actually got a bill passed into law, my bipartisan Federal Data Center Enhancement Act. It establishes cybersecurity and resiliency standards for federal data centers. And so to Mr. Smith, or I'm sorry, Dr. Su, thank you. Dr. Su, I want to ask you a little bit about hardware. Are there ways the hardware, like the chips AMD designs, new chips that we're hoping to think about? I know my career as a software developer, we just know things have gotten smarter, faster, and the cooler they can be, the better we can compute. So how can we make our chips cooler? How can we make our data centers, our computing power more secure? And I know interoperability is sometimes a factor, but can you talk about this a little bit?
Sure. Thank you for the question, Senator. Look, I think all of those things are extremely important, as you said. So in our part of the energy efficiency, power constraints that we have from a chip standpoint, our job is to continue to make our chips more and more efficient every year. We've seen, 30 times improvement over the last few years, and we will continue to focus, in that area. And then to your comments about, security and ensuring that our chips are secure and people are not somehow, breaking into them. Those are also very high priorities in our overall development cycle for future generation chips as well.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to working with all of you again on these important issues. Mr. Chairman.